All right, you guys. Thank you all for getting on this call tonight. My name is Brigette Lindford, and I'm a 8-star diamond coach. My sponsoring coach is Scotty, and so I'm honored to be on this call tonight, and especially honored to be on here with Kendra Fletcher. I have to tell you guys all that Kendra is an amazing coach. I have nothing but admiration and respect for her. We're both part of a leadership group in the Bombshell Dynasty, and she is constantly sharing valuable information. She's one of the most organized and disciplined coaches that I've ever met, to be honest. And so I'm honored to be hosting this call with her. Now, one thing that I hear from my coaches all the time is that they are concerned about training new coaches. They don't want to get them started off on the wrong foot, and they want to plug them into the right training and lead them the right way. I'm sure you guys can all relate to what I'm talking about. And I'm all about empowerment. I want to teach you guys what you need to do and fill you in on the training tools that you have available to you to share with your team. So everyone will get off this webinar feeling confident that you have the tools necessary for you to train your own team to be successful. So first off, I'm going to have Kendra share with you guys some tools that we have available in the back office. And then I'll share with you some tips for a great get started right call with your coaches and some of my thoughts on your role as a sponsoring coach. So I'm going to turn the time over to Kendra. If you want to start broadcasting, I will turn the time over to you.
Awesome. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. Well, let's get started. So, like Brigette said, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on this call. It's such an honor, and thank you for the introduction, Brigette. We, planned out this presentation, and I can tell you she's going to share so many valuable tools and information with you all to help you lead your teams. So I'm going to go over the Online Coach Training Academy and some information about Coach Basics, and then I'll turn it over to her to talk about getting started right and your role as a leader. So first of all, has anyone gone through the Coach Training Academy in the Coach Online office? Write yes in the comments if you've done it. Anyone? All right, I see some yeses. All right, that's awesome. So when I first became a coach, it was a year ago in February. My coach, who is Scotty Hobbs, he told me to go do this. And it's something I could have easily skipped or not done or said I did and didn't do it. But I invested the time into learning this information and using the tools that are available. So if you haven't gone through it yet, I encourage you to, because you need to know this for yourself, and you also need to know this as a resource that's available to your coaches. So in case you don't know how to get there, just go to your Coach Online office and go to News and Training, Coach Training Academy, and it just has a ton of great tools and resources. And if you've already gone through the training, one thing to remember is you can also send the links to your new coaches. So if one of your new coaches says, well, I don't know how to set up my websites, you can empower them by sending them the link and or showing them where it is and letting them watch the video where they can learn how to do that. And I think Brigette is going to talk more about that, but what we really want to do is empower our coaches with where to find information, where to get resources, where to, learn, where to know where the tools are. And so the Coach Training Academy is a great place to start. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Coach Basics. And the reason I put this foundation on the slide is because the way that I think about Coach Basics is that it's really the foundation of your business. It is teaching you all the key skills that we need to know as coaches in terms of the 3 vital behaviors, how to invite, how to run challenge groups, you know, what Shakeology is, how to explain it to people, all those key things that we all need to know to build our business. And what I like about this metaphor is that we all get to build our own business. So, like we're building houses and we can choose our colors and we can choose our layout. We can design it in our own way. And that's what I love about this business is that we're each individual business owners. But at the same time, we all need that same solid foundation to know about the business. And so that is what Coach Basics was, gave me, and that's what I think it also gives my coaches. So, these are some of the stats for Coach Basics. And I'll just have to tell you, I remember when my coach invited me to be in a group. And when he did the invitation, he included these stats. And so I'm like a brand new coach, just starting out. And I was like, wow, well, I want to do that. I want to be 78% that earned $100 in the first month. I want to hit Success Club. I want to advance in rank. And so him sharing that with me really made me want to be a part of this because I knew that it was going to help me be successful. And it's also a great reason to join a group if you haven't done so yet. Okay, so what are the objectives of Coach Basics? What it really does is it helps you or your coaches really create that strong foundation for your business. And what I like about it is the information is fed to you in little pieces. So it's a little bit different than sitting through a longer training because you're getting to learn each piece of information, discuss it with the group, ask questions, and I think it's just a really great way to learn and to talk with others and create that foundation. You also get all the resources and training in this group. You get daily accountability. You get to meet other coaches. So, what was really cool is my coach is all the way across the country in Idaho Falls, and I'm in the DC area. And it turned out that one of his other coaches was in my area as well. And so we've actually become friends. But it's kind of cool to meet new coaches that are starting at the same time as you and to start to form those bonds and relationships as you grow. Another huge thing that I think Coach Basics does for my coaches and how it helped me is just to build my confidence, to, learn about all the resources that are available so I know where to find things. It made me more comfortable sharing my why with people. It made me better able to handle objections, and it helped me learn how to talk about Shakeology, which was like a big fear of mine in the beginning because I didn't know how to talk to people about it. So it's great for helping your coaches build their confidence and achieve success. And the other great thing about Coach Basics is that all the resources are available to all of us. So it's a duplicatable system. So it's something that you can do with your coaches. And as your leaders grow on your team, they can do that with their coaches. And as their leaders grow, it continues. And so it's a system that we can all use and duplicate to help our coaches be successful. And the last bullet that I have there, which I think is so important, and Brigette is going to talk more about this, is that it really just starts to help new coaches believe in themselves and believe what is possible with Beachbody. And I'll just give you an example. I remember when I first got, my first check for like $50, I started to understand what this meant to be able to help people with their health and fitness, and that this was something that I could do and that I could be successful at. So that's another big part of it. So how does it work? If you haven't been in one, it's basically a private Facebook group. So if you want to set one up for your team, you're going to set up a private Facebook group. It's a 60-day program with daily posts and training videos, and then most coaches who lead them do a video chat with the coaches in the group. So you can use Google Hangouts or Zoom, ZOOM, which is another free video chat service. And those are really great for just being able to connect face to face with your coaches and to be able to talk and ask questions, share successes, share areas that you want to work on. And I found those really valuable both when I was a new coach in the group as well as running these groups for my own team. So, if you have never been in a Coach Basics group or you have coaches who may be interested in joining, just talk to your upline diamond and see if they're running any, and you can see if you can get into one of those or get your coaches into those. So, I alluded a little bit to the tools that are available. These are in your Coach Online office under News and Training and Coach Basics. And there is so much information and resources to help you get started with one of these. So there's a leader guide, participant guide, all the daily coaching questions, there's training videos. So there's everything that you need to be successful and run a group. And some of the tools that you'll use as part of this is the business activity tracker. And I don't know if any of you all have seen the new one, but I really love it because it's simplified and I think it's a little bit easier to use. And it really does help you track the key activities that you need to be doing to grow your business. And then there's a screenshot of a Zoom hangout from one of Brigitte's calls. So they're all getting online and chatting about their goals. And the last thing I wanted to share with you all is Scotty Hobbs has actually done his own video series for every single day of Coach Basics. So he took the Beachbody Coach Basics and did a video for every single day where he shares, his perspective and how he talks about the particular topic of the day. And those are all available on his website. So you can watch those. You can use those links for your team. But I just wanted you to know that that is available. I think it ends up being 12 weeks of daily videos for you to learn from one of the top 10 coaches, which is something we can all do. So that is my part of the presentation, and I just wanted to say that, being a part of the Coach Basics really helped me start off strong as a coach. And I think it's so important because if you think back to how you felt as a new coach, you have that excitement, that drive, you're kind of wondering what's possible. And as a coach, bringing in those new coaches, we want to get them started off right and help them have the tools and the resources so that they can keep that momentum going. And I'll just tell you one little quick story. I had a coach who signed on with me shortly after I was a new coach. So I'd only been a coach for a couple months. And she was asking me a bunch of questions about the business, Shakeology, challenge packs, just the normal questions. And she asked me, she said, "How do you know the answers to all these questions?" And I just kind of laughed. But the reason is because I went through the training academy, and I also did the Coach Basics, and that is what gave me that strong foundation. That's what allowed me to be a leader from the very beginning with my first coaches, and that is something that is available to all of you, and I just encourage you to take advantage of it. So I am going to hand it over to Brigette.
Okay. All right. So I just have to add in my 2 cents about Coach Basics and how I feel that this has really helped me. I included a couple screenshots from feedback I asked at the end of Coach Basics 1.0. Personally, I'm dividing it into 1.0 and 2.0, just giving people an opportunity to say, okay, we're 30 days into this. If you've fallen behind, you can redo 1.0 and you can start all over. If you feel you've done all the assignments and it's going well, let's move to 2.0. So you guys can actually move the little lines of this presentation around. So the video is smaller, the text chat is smaller, so you can make the testimonial screenshot right here a little bit bigger and you can read through the post. Because for me, when I first heard about Coach Basics, I felt the same thing when I saw those stats. I'm like, okay, if this is gonna work, I'll do it. I had tried so many different ways as a coach to get my coaches started and to find the best way to train them. And I have gotten so much good feedback from these Coach Basic groups. For me personally, I do have a weekly Zoom call, video conference call, and the feedback that I'm getting from people is that's their favorite part. They love the conference call because they're getting to talk to other people. And I know a lot of people are like, okay, so what do you do on a Coach Basics call? What do you say? I'll tell you for me personally that I have them come prepared with 3 questions. Or 3 things. I should have written this out. But the first thing is I have them report back about the highlight of their week, the greatest success. And I think this is a really good learning opportunity for coaches because a lot of people think that, I didn't sell anything this week. I didn't get any Success Club points. Well, there is something good that you're doing every single week. Maybe you worked out every single day this past week. Maybe you read personal development every single day. Maybe you invited somebody new every single day. There's something that you did that was right. So I want to train my coaches to not throw the baby out with the bathwater and recognize that there's something good they can draw from every single week. So that's the first thing that we go over. The second thing that we go over is what they can improve on. So I feel nobody is perfect. We are constantly trying to learn and to grow. And so there's something that they can do differently every single week. So that's the second thing that I go over with my coaches in the Zoom conference call, what they can do to improve. And then I ask them, what is your greatest aha moment from personal development this past week? So I feel that we should be learning something new every single day, but there should be like a life-changing experience that you're having every month, every week, So I want them to share that. I want them to share with me, okay, we're reading the compound effect. What are you learning? What has stood out to you and how has that impacted your life? So sharing that with people, and it gives them an opportunity to tell me, okay, I'm really struggling with time management. And then I get to tell them, you know what? Here's a great webinar about time management. Here's a national wake-up call I listened to that has really helped me. Or objections. I'm struggling with objections. I can tell them, okay, here's a webinar. And then I can post those links and things like that in the Coach Basics group and give them honest feedback and direction and, really shoot them straight. So I feel that has helped a lot. Now, I'll be honest, in my experience, that I have not had a Coach Basics group where every single person finished who started. I do have people who need to repeat 1.0 or 2.0, and I kind of feel like that just happens, that there's going to be people who it's not the right time, maybe someone gets really sick, whatever. I do have assignments personally, this is my experience, I do assignments Monday through Friday, and then I give them the weekend to catch up. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working out really well. So couple testimonials you can see here that people are saying that they do enjoy the group and they are appreciating it. Now, we've been talking about Coach Basic Coach Basic groups, and I want to kind of go over what you need to do now as a coach. So, You're training your coaches, you're getting them started, and I think it's a pretty basic standard thing in this business for people to have a get started right call. And I know a lot of coaches can feel intimidated to get on a call with a brand new coach that they just signed up. So I'm going to share with you guys a few key points that I am doing in my get started right calls that I feel are making a big difference. Now let me just say right now that you do not have to be the Beachbody expert. You don't have to have the plans and procedures document memorized. You don't have to have a compensation plan memorized. You don't have to be the best coach placement, strategy expert out there. The reality is that the information is there. People can get all of that online and through other third-party resources. But what they can't get through online training is that human interaction and belief. That comes from you as their sponsoring coach. You are there to let them know you're not alone. I'm here. I'm going to help you. You're okay. You're there to let them know that they're a part of a team, that they have a friend in this business. Because the reality is that people sign up with you because of you. And so you need to be their friend. You need to get to know them. You need to find out their story. And so to me, that's like the biggest reason and purpose for me to have a get started right call with these people is I want to find out their story. I want to find out what attracted you to Beachbody. Maybe there's been a challenger, they've been a challenger for a while, and they have used the product for a while. So ask them, what has Beachbody done for you so far? And I think there's three great questions. What attracted you to Beachbody? What has Beachbody done for you so far? And what do you want your future to be like with Beachbody? So you're finding out about their family, you're finding out what motivates them, you're showing real interest and concern about your coaches. One of the great books that I have read that I feel has really helped me as a coach is called Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. And I really love that book because it shows you and it lays out for you, okay, here's these different personalities. And if this is your personality, this is your strength in the workplace, here's your weakness in the workplace. And if you're interacting with this personality type, here's how you're going to motivate them. Here's how you're going to encourage them. And especially with your personality, the things to be careful with as you're interacting with different personality types. I feel this has actually really helped me with my challenge groups too, because some challengers, you can call them out in the challenge group and say, hey, where are you? Where have you been? Other people, you can challenge them and say, hey, I'm going to give you a little competition this week. I challenge you to, work out every single day, or I don't know, give them a little competition, and that motivates them to do it. But everyone's different, and it's going to be the same thing with your coaches. And so I feel that when I'm getting on this call, one of the things I'm being, conscious of and trying to pay attention to is what is this personality type? So I know how I can best help them and make that connection with them. So yes, it's called Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. It's Littauer. It's a really great book. Now, another thing that I really love about this business is that no one asks you for your resume. You don't have to show your college diploma, your track record of success. Nobody really cares about that part. I mean, they care about you, but they don't care as much about where you've been as much as they care about where do you want to go. So for me, I'm a 2-time college dropout. My work experience is being a waitress at Denny's. And that's it. I was not the girl voted most likely to succeed. That just wasn't me. And I remember, actually, I used to be a real estate agent. I tried to be a real estate agent. I went to real estate school and I applied at this company to be an agent for them. And I remember sitting in that office and just being drilled, just having them look up my college scores. I had to show them my test scores. And it was really intimidating, and I felt like I didn't qualify for that position. And I remember, in contrast, when I signed up as a coach and I had my Get Started Right call, I remember Scotty asking me, "What do you want and when do you want it?" No one had ever asked me that before. No one had ever sat me down and said, "You know what? Here's a platter, like with everything you could possibly want in the world. What do you want?" And, the world is yours for the taking. Take it, whatever you want. He didn't ask me for my list of credentials. He didn't ask me, like, "Okay, show me your test scores." It was just, where do you want to go in life? And for me, like, that was so empowering. I mean, how freaking cool is that? I don't know any other business in the world that focuses more on who do you want to be. They focus more on, like, who have you been up to this point? Who are you right now? And I think that was so empowering for me as a new coach to be treated like an equal, and to feel like someone believed in me, that I could do this. And so I feel for you, when you're starting your new coaches, you need to do the same thing. Ask them, what do you want? What are your goals? And when do you want it? I mean, there's great power in giving that option for people, that they can have anything that they want in their life. And going into that, you are there to help them create that vision and help them believe in themselves. Like I said, they can go online, they can go and do the training, they can go through that online training academy. The resources are there, but the resources are not going to create that belief and that vision. And that's what you get to do for your coaches. A few things that you can ask your coaches to help create that vision for them are questions like, how is that going to make you feel? How will that change your life when you are, for example, making $1,000 a month? If someone tells you that's their goal, you don't just say, "Okay, great, hit Success Club," and then move on. You want to elaborate. You want to connect that goal to an emotion, to a feeling, and help them see, okay, when I am making $1,000 a month, I'm going to be able to save money and go on a vacation with my kids and my husband, or I'm going to be able to have my car paid, or I can be able to pay my mortgage. And then ask him, how is that going to make you feel? How's that going to change your life? When you are making $1,000 a month, what will you be able to do then that you can't do now? I mean, those are empowering questions that you give somebody that helps them realize and put themselves in that situation where they have that belief and they're like, "You're right, that's going to be amazing. That's going to totally change my life." And they get excited and they have that passion, and like, they can't get that from training. That's something that you give them. So I'll tell you, for me, that when you're getting on this coach, I mean, you are helping them set their goals. You're creating that vision for them. Now, I know a lot of people will say, "Okay, well, what do I do if I can't see that vision for them? I don't know what to do." And I don't want to get all churchy on you, but I'm going to tell you what I do. And I'll tell you honestly that right before every single Get Started Right call, I pray. And I pray that I will be able to see the potential in this person, that I will know what they're capable of, and not see them for what they are right now. Now, if you don't pray, that's okay. You can take some time to meditate. You can visualize, just that potential for that person, because I'll tell you that your belief becomes their belief. And your expectation for them is the expectation they have for themselves. So if you don't think that they can succeed, they won't. I don't think coaches realize how much power you have as a sponsoring coach for somebody else, because they look up to you. They signed up with you. And how horrible would that be for someone to live up to the potential that you set for them when it's less than what they truly are capable of? I mean, you following what I'm saying here? I mean, it is so important for you to truly see that potential and to believe it, not to see how they are right now, because people can change. I mean, if I can go from a college dropout to an 8-star diamond coach in less than 2 years, anybody can do it. Like that no one would have ever thought that I could do that, but Scotty believed in me. He knew that I could do it, and so I did. And so on this Get Started Right call, you are showing people and helping them see what they are capable of. You get to paint that picture vividly in their mind of how amazing their future is going to be. Because people will ask me, how are you successful? How are you this 8-star diamond coach, less than 2 years, making $5,000 a week? And I'll tell you, I am not the most social person in the world. I am not a social media expert. The year before I signed up as a coach, in fact, I posted one time on Facebook when my daughter was born. And Instagram, I thought that was just an app on your phone to get filters. Like, that was it. I didn't realize you could actually meet people on Instagram. And I had no clue what a like page was. I think I had a whopping 200 friends on Facebook. And for me, I live in Idaho, small little town in Idaho. And for me, leaving the house to go to Walmart was an event. I don't get out of the house very much. And so for me to move past that, how did I move past that? And that's because I believed it would happen. I was lucky to sign up with a coach who asked me what I wanted. He believed in me, and he helped me develop that goal into a vision. Now, I just want to give you an example of vision and how you can do that for your coaches. One of my goals when I signed up as a coach is to pay off our house. And it's kind of changing because now we're going to move, and so we're not paying off our house because we don't know what house we're going to be living in. But I have this vision of living in a home free and clear. I've been through a bankruptcy, I've lost my home in a foreclosure, and I will never, ever, ever go through that in my life again. So I want to own a home free and clear. And, I sit there and I think about that, and that's like, okay, yeah, that sounds great, but that doesn't give you that passion and excitement when you're thinking about it. And so again, asking those questions, well, what will I be able to do then that I can't do now when I've paid off my house? How is that going to feel? What will I be able to do differently when I've done that? And for me, I sit there and I think about when I pay off my house, I want to travel. I want to travel every single summer with my 3 kids and my husband. And so far, my favorite vacation we've ever taken was to Hawaii. And that was my dream vacation, and I just loved it. And I really, really, really want to go back. And so for me, my goal to pay off that house means that next summer, I can go live in Hawaii with my family and just be free. We can do whatever we want. And so for me, every single morning, since I have been a coach, I have set 2 alarm clocks on my phone. And as soon as the first alarm clock goes off, I hit snooze, and I lay there in my bed, and I visualize being on the beach in Hawaii with my family. And the sun is on my back. I can hear the kids playing in the water, and they're playing in the sand, and I'm just happy. I don't have a care in the world. I'm free. And I visualize that. And it is so real to me. It is more powerful than all of my fears. All of the fears that I've had of putting myself out there and being scared to post on Facebook. I was so scared to post on Facebook. I would overthink things like crazy, right? I was so scared to talk to people. And yet, when I'm visualizing that is powerful. And that was much more powerful than any of the fears that I had. And so I was willing to share my life with people because I knew what it would feel like to accomplish that goal because I had lived it. And I knew it was worth the temporary discomfort and hard work that I needed to get there. So many coaches are not willing to work hard because they don't know for sure that it's going to be worth it. But I'll tell you, if you could experience just for one day what it feels like to reach all of your goals, you would do anything to get there. You would do anything. And I can tell you that because I am reaching my goals. I've been able to bring my husband home from his full-time job. Beachbody this is it. My husband was working 2 jobs, and now he's home. And That was my goal, and I'll tell you, it feels a million times better than I ever imagined it would feel. And I think for you guys, all of you, if you had that goal and you could visualize it and you could realize how good it feels to get there, you would do whatever it takes. And it's the same thing with your coaches. When you get on that Get Started Right call, you need to find out what they want, what they really want. And that doesn't mean just mean going to Diamond. What does that mean? Why? Why do you want to go to Diamond? You know, you need to connect an emotion and an event with their goals. Because if they do, they are self-propelled. You don't have to do anything. You know, so many coaches are like, how do I motivate my team? I'm like, well, you sure haven't found out what motivates them. You don't know what their goals are. And not just that, you haven't created this like vision for them of how amazing it's going to feel to accomplish that goal. And that's your job as a coach, especially on this Get Started Right call. Okay? Sorry, got a little sidetracked there. I do want to point out, though, as well, that there are tools for you as a sponsoring coach in the back office. So if you go underneath News and Training, down to Coach Training Tools, Coach Training Academy, over to Business Essentials, and then down you'll see that there's a sponsoring guide. Okay, so I just want to point that out. But that's what you do on a Coach Get Started Right call. Now this kind of leads into what I believe your role is as a leader. Now, as a sponsoring coach, you have just presented people with the opportunity to own their own franchise. How cool is that, right? I mean, doesn't matter if they're a college dropout, like I said, doesn't matter what they've done in their life. You have just said, look, you own a business. How cool is that? And so if you think of a franchise like Subway, just use them as an example. You give them the business model. All the marketing is done for them. Everyone knows what Subway is. You're giving them all the tools to build those amazing sandwiches. You're teaching them everything that they need to do to succeed. But they still have to show up and open the door each morning. They have to put the chairs down. They have to make the sandwiches. It's their responsibility to take the orders. Hire people, do whatever it takes to run a successful franchise. Now, you are all lucky right here. If you're in this group, you have an upline showing you how to build your own franchise, but it's up to you, right? So when you sponsor a coach, it's important for you to set those realistic expectations of what they can expect from you and establish that relationship. So how does this, what does this mean? How does this translate when you're talking to your coaches? I'll just pretend you guys are all, I'm talking to you as a new coach and what I like to say. So I'll tell people, I'm so excited. I explain, I find out what their goals, and then I tell them, you know what? I fully believe that you can do this. I know you can do it. And it's going to feel amazing. I want you to know that I'm not going to get you there. You're going to get you there. You're the one who's going to accomplish all of your goals and all of your dreams. I'm going to give you the tools, but you just bought your own franchise. I'm going to give you all the tools. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to do to get there. But I am not going to come open the door of your franchise. I'm not going to come take the orders for your customers. I am not going to come put down the chairs to the tables. I have my own franchise. I have my own Subway, and it's a successful Subway. And I'm going to tell you how to have your successful Subway, but it's yours. It's not mine. This is your business. And you are empowering your coaches in setting the realistic expectations so that they don't blame you, because it's not your responsibility for them to succeed or fail. It's their job. So I feel that that's important when you're having a Get Started Right call, when you're training your new coaches, that they realize it's their responsibility. Now, you are showing them by example because you are building that franchise. It kind of leads to the next point. Don't make the mistake of thinking you can talk about it and not be about it. The moment you are not in the trenches doing the behaviors to build a business, you are not a leader. Now, I will occasionally hear about a coach who complains that their coaches aren't adding new people. They aren't advancing rank. You get these emeralds who are like, I can't get to diamond because my coaches won't build. Okay, so I have to ask you, I mean, how many coaches are you adding in? You know, even if your coaches have a strong upline like Scotty Hobbs, Mindy Wender, Meg Wyszynski, whatever, they are following you. They are watching what you are doing. You are their leader. And you are the one who has set the standard for your coaches. So lead by example. Be the kind of coach that you want to sponsor in your organization. And this is what you're telling your coaches, right? I mean, I remember when I was a brand new coach, I got on this national wake up call and I heard Melissa McAllister get on. I'm sorry, it's freezing up. That's not good. Hopefully it's okay here. I'm going to look up here. Okay, I'm going to keep on going. But I remember getting on a new coach on a national wake-up call, and Melissa McAllister was sharing with us. I just need a comment. Can you guys hear me? Like, am I still frozen? Andrea can hear me. Can anyone else? Okay, it's all right now. Keep on going. Okay, so when I was a new coach, I got on and I heard Melissa McAllister get on a national wake-up call, and she said that she asked herself every single day, if my coaches did what I did today, would they have built their business? And I remember that having a great impact on me as a brand new, wobbly diamond coach, wondering how do I build a stable organization? And even today, it's something that I constantly think about. In fact, it's probably the last thing on my mind when I go to bed each night. I ask myself, if my coaches did what I did today, would they have built their business? And this kind of leads to my next point. How do you motivate someone to build they don't want to build? I hear that all the time from coaches when they're sponsoring coaches and they're saying, what do? I can't motivate anyone. Nobody wants to build. What do you say to spark that motivation? My answer is you don't. Probably not what you want to hear, but you are a leader. You are not a manipulator. You are driving a bus that is focused on moving forward, and you stop that bus to let people get on, and sometimes people will get off, but you don't stop for anybody. You don't wait for somebody. You don't stop at the street corner and yell out, who wants to get on the bus? Come on, guys, come get on. You keep moving forward. And if you have not attracted business builders into your organization right now, then guess what? You are so lucky because you have extra time to focus and develop on you. Develop yourself so that you can be the kind of coach that attracts business building coaches. So if you need to work on your transformation, if you need to read more books, if you need to develop more relationships with people, whatever it takes, you focus on growing and developing you, and people will be attracted and want to join your business. So your job as a coach is to simply hold people accountable to their goals. That's it. You don't manipulate them to have different goals than what they have. You know, if I'm doing a push for diamond group, I don't reach out to all of my coaches who I know can do it and say, hey, I really need you to go diamond by this date because I want the star diamond bonus payout, whatever, right? I don't say that. I ask people, okay, here's a deadline. Who wants to go diamond by this deadline? And I'll tell you that I do have coaches who I know could do it, and they don't tell me that that's their goal. I may private message them and say, hey, I noticed you didn't comment. I totally think you could do it. How come, is there a reason, and they'll tell me, oh, this is not my focus right now. I want to work on this. I'm like, great, totally fine. Not a big deal. I'm not going to manipulate anybody to want something just because I want it for them. Now, along with that, you need to be trustworthy. So this goes back to building that relationship and making sure your team of coaches know that when you tell them to do A and B, that will result in C. And I think a lot of that trust comes from people seeing that you are doing it. So they trust that if you give them advice, it's going to lead to success. And last but not least, I want to talk about being honest. I am a pretty blunt person. And I think, to be honest, it can be good. in this business to be blunt and honest with people because people don't want to bang their head against a door. They want to know how to open the door, right? And so if you see your coaches doing something that needs to change, you need to tell them. And sometimes it may feel like it's uncomfortable and don't know how to word it in a polite way. You can be polite. I mean, you don't have to call them out in the coach group. You can send them a private message. But if someone is not seeing success, go to their Facebook page and look at their post. I had a coach frustrated that she was not seeing success, and I go to her Facebook page, and she's a spam artist. It's been like a walking Beachbody billboard, and I had to tell her, okay, you are scaring off people. This is what you should do to change. So I had to be honest with her and shoot her straight. And I think as a coach, they're trusting in you. And so you need to be honest with them and lead them the right way. Now, in conclusion, I just want to share with you guys a few of my favorite quotes to you about leadership. We're talking about Coach Basic groups, and I feel that your job in this Coach Basic groups is to create leaders. I know in this business, if you think about it, basically your success comes from using the analogy of everybody eats. So you need everyone to eat food to be successful. It's going to make sense in a minute. So what so many people do is they go fishing and they grab a fish and they give it to everybody. They do the work for everyone. They're like, okay, I'm going to talk to your coaches and I'm going to do your challenge groups for you and send me all of your messages and I'll tell you exactly what to say and do this and that. And it's great to get them feedback, but you cannot do the work for them. You need to teach people how to fish. You need to teach people how to be their own leader so that they can lead their own organizations. And so you're teaching them that. I also love this quote that you can carry 3 on your back, but you can lead thousands. So if you do your job right, you are never going to be overwhelmed in this business because you have empowered other people to lead themselves and lead their organizations. But remember, you have to see the potential in others if they are going to be the kind of person they were designed to be. So help them see that for themselves. And finally, I want everyone on this call to know that you may not feel like you're a natural leader. You may feel like you weren't born to lead a Coach Basics group, that you don't have the characteristics and qualities that define a great leader. But the fact is you're leading your team right now, whether you realize it or not. You do have people looking up to you. It doesn't matter if they have a strong diamond upline above you or a couple levels above you. They signed up with you. So they're looking to you. They're observing and they're mimicking your behavior. So you need to make sure that you are a good example for people because the characteristics of a good leader are characteristics that you can develop. They're characteristics that can be learned. And so you can lead your team and be wildly successful if you're willing to work hard and read books. I can tell you John C. Maxwell focuses so much on leadership. And I feel like I have learned so much because I've never done anything like this in my life. And I feel like I've learned so much from John C. Maxwell on leadership that have really helped me know how to lead successful Coach Basic groups and develop other leaders on my team. And I'll be honest with you guys, I know it's a Monday night. There's a million other things that you could be doing tonight. But if you're still on this call, if you're listening to this recording, there's a reason. And it's because deep down, you know that you are a leader and that you can do this and you want to help your coaches have the right training through these Coach Basic groups. And so you can lead thousands of people. You can lead millions of people. You have it within you. So I'm excited for you all to develop into the leaders that I know you can be and help other people develop into the leaders that they can be through these Coach Basic groups. I believe in you guys. Thanks for getting on tonight. Have a good night.